I'm Katy Mogal, and I am the third international attendee. I heard there were just two, but I actually think there's more of us. So it is actually a global conference. So I've been leading UX research teams at big tech companies like Google for 15 years. And right now I'm consulting at Amazon Ring, where I get a front row seat at how organizations are incorporating AI into their workflows and performance metrics, which is causing some really interesting unintended consequences. And it's obviously not just another tool change, it's a fundamental redefinition of our profession. Ever since I've been in UX, we've been pursuing this elusive seat at the table. You've all been in those conversations. And we're looking for the chance to shape strategy rather than just execute it. And we've built methodologies and evidence-based approaches, and we've earned credibility, and a lot of us are stepping into that seat at the table, and now AI has come along and reshuffled the deck. Some really important points were raised yesterday about the importance of discernment. Sabrina was talking about discernment, and I'm really excited to see that kick in, because right now we're in the midst of all these experiments, which is great, but understanding when AI is the right material, that's going to be really important. But despite all that, it's obvious that these tools can be rocket fuel for our profession. And at the same time, they democratize our craft across a lot of functions. So now the skills are flowing both ways and they're more distributed. So when our peers can generate insights and produce design work that used to be our special sauce, we face a paradox. We're simultaneously more powerful and less distinctive. There's a really interesting parallel to this. There's many, but one that's really interesting for me comes from art history. So photography emerged in the 19th century, and painters went into a panic. It was like an existential crisis, because why do you need someone to paint your portrait when a photograph can depict it perfectly accurately? So painting, was thought to maybe going to be on its way out, but it didn't disappear. It transformed. So photography liberated painters from documentation and pushed them towards the things that cameras couldn't do, the things that are human, subjective, emotional, conceptual. And there's a similarity in the way in which AI liberates us from operational tasks and lets us focus on higher order human sense making. So the question isn't whether our industry is going to transform, but what our role is going to be. Are we going to be architects or victims of this transformation? It's not just about diving into the deep end, as Michael urged us to do yesterday. It's also about stepping into our power as leaders in insights-driven strategy. And that's what our three speakers are going to talk about today. They're all living in visions of these futures. Nobody's talking about AI per se, but this cohort gives us a look into what paths we might take as strategy cultivators. So first, Danielle Morrison, Patient Experience Director at UCSF, is going to talk to us about what's practical, how to turn research superpowers on our internal stakeholders to overcome barriers in service design. Lyric Metropoulos, from one of America's most beloved grocery stores, HEB's digital group, with her recent master's in foresight, is going to talk about what's possible, how organizations can develop preferred futures and orchestrate change towards them. And then Ashton Snook is going to bring us home addressing what's personal, shifting your leadership stance towards strategic influence through recommitment to craft. As head of design and research for group products at Vodafone UK, he brings a decade of experience shaping consumer products from startups to FT 100 companies. So we've got personal, possible, and preferred. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Danielle to the stage.